this is something multi auth user role wise login. Okay, we need CODEIGNITER 4. Okay, this is the command, so I just copy it. Okay, this is my htdocs, czamp htdocs. Here I go and type cmd, space this command and hit enter. Instead of CODEIGNITER 4 I say ci multi auth. So next thing we are going to do, you can simply do it by going there and downloading this CODEIGNITER 4 directly. Okay, after that we have to copy. Next is this command. You requirement to not resolve this CODEIGNITER 4 problem. It's missing in your system. Install or enable the PHP's intl extension. Okay, so you have to enable this intl extension. Just go in XAMPP, in the Apache, between php.ini and controller intl. Okay, just remove this semicolon here and hit Ctrl S, save it, close it, and stop the server and start again. Okay, so next thing you have to go htdocs and delete that entire folder. Okay, and again close this also, and again type cmd, copy that line again, paste it, multi auth. Now it's installed perfectly. Total package is 2 packages, 43 to be installed. Many are installed. Okay, all downloaded, installing 43 packages. Okay, now I have to copy the env file to .env, but I have to go inside that folder multi auth. Okay, and then I have to type cp env.env. okay, cp is not there. Okay, in Windows I have to type copy one file, copy. So here I am going to open Visual Studio Code. So type code and hit enter. It will open that folder in the Visual Studio Code. These are my old files. Okay, don't save. Will not see this. Okay, so this is your folder. Okay, this not this one. It is going wrong. Okay, again I type code and hit enter. Okay, now Academy LMS, something code dot. Okay, I think you have to space and dot. Yes, you have to type code and space dot. Then this Visual Studio Codes open with your project folder, that is the currently we have installed the CODEIGNITER 4. Okay, so just we have to change the environment, CODEIGNITER environment, from production to development, and it should be in, I think, in env file only. So this is our env file. Where is our .env file? Here is .env. This was given originally by CODEIGNITER, and this is just a copy purpose file, means this is for backup, and we have copied the file with .env. So until it have .env, it will not execute its it will not in action. env is not in action, but .env in action. So I change it to development. Okay, so first thing I have done as per the instructions. So follow the next. Create database table in the application. Create table CODEIGNITER for app. Okay, so it's not necessary with the same name you have to do. Just go to localhost phpMyAdmin and create a multi-auth. I will not give that same name, but I give the name multi-auth. Okay, depend upon, you can give any name to your database, but just remember that name. Okay, I have selected this new created database. I go to SQL and paste that the command, SQL command given here, and I say go. Okay, so it has created one table, tbl user. It has ID, name, email, phone number, role, password, and created ad fields. Total 3367 fields. Okay, and ID is our primary key. If you go to structure, you can see the key here, that yellow color key, and it is auto incremented. This yellow color means primary key. So database connectivity in .env file we have to do this. Okay, instead of using this, we have to use the multi-auth table name. None other things are okay. So here, instead of CI4 multi-auth, it is my database name. Okay, and it should be matched with this phpMyAdmin database name, that is multi-auth. Okay, now so root is my username and password is blank. Okay, my password is blank for the Windows, and I have to remove this all commands. Okay, I type control, now working. I have to remove it manually one by one. And I save it. So database is connected. Next thing, create database seeder and user roles. Means some fake data we are going to create, so we don't need to add things. Okay, so I just copy it again, check where I am at the root of our project, and I paste it and I hit enter. Okay, this command created user seeder.php. What this command is PHP Spark. Okay, so if you go to that root of our folder, you will see the Spark. This is the file provider by CODEIGNITER 4, that was not in 3. Okay, so this is the Spark. We calling this file, and we send some parameters, arguments to this, like make seeder. We have to make seeder. What the seeder name is? User. And it's just suffix, means it will create user. User is the user, and user seeder.php. Okay, so seeder will be the suffix and the user is the prefix, and the file name is user seeder.php, where it is app database seeds user seeder.php. So we will open that file, app database. Okay, this is our app path. Here is the database, and in the seeds you will see the user seeder file. So some code is automatically get written there. So next step. Okay, so he just want to create some some fake data for the login purpose. Okay, so in the run I paste that code and again check whether there is any line that okay, so no any special one. You can also try it with notepad. So first paste it in notepad, again control A, control C, control Z. I am okay, so this is my clean. I paste the code. First I copied it to notepad to avoid the hidden white space characters. Okay, so I save it. So it's very simple as what it create. New user model it takes and insert batch. Batch means multiple, so you can give multiple items in the array. So this is first name, email, phone number, role and password, and that field should match with our database table. So name, email, phone number, roles and password. Created at is automatic and id is also auto incremental, so we don't need to put that. Okay, so created at, when this command is hit, that time will be automatically get inserted here, and id is auto incremental, we don't have to put that, and it is unique, so we don't need to manage it by our side. So same way we have another array but having different values, like name has different value, email different, phone number different, and role also different, and for demo purpose they have given the same password. And what happened, we have calculated the password hash. Okay, so our password will not be saved in database directly 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, it will get encrypted. Okay, next step, run the seeder. So how to insert that database, how to insert that array into database, this code here. So we have to run this command from the root of our project. I just paste it, not copied. Okay, I can copy it, go here. Okay, seed this. So user model not found. Okay, this is the problem. That person not created user model. Okay, this is the wrong thing. I think he did. He must do this before hitting this command. So I first copy this. Okay. Okay, user suffix. Okay, we have created the user model. Then we will try to okay, and we have to update that user model also. So I first open that file. Okay, that model might be created in the models, and then the model, user model. Okay, here it is created, and only things we have to add are these are protected allow fields. Okay, this thing we have to add, other things are already there, and it is added after the date. I think it is added after this protected fields true. Yes, we have to replace this empty array with this new array. So first I paste it here, let's see, and hello total. Okay, so this is, so I have created these other things are as it is. So and after that, if you hit this command, this seeder, so it will create. So I created user model, update the user model, then I hit the seeder. Still it has error, app database seeds user model not found. So problem is we have not included that model. Okay, so I include that model here. That is this user seeds. We need to add this model. Okay, and again I hit that command. Okay, now we will check what's happening. So I go, still I don't find any user in it. Okay, so something went wrong. Okay, we continue with that flow. So this problem with us that even we start the Spark DB seed, no any data in the table get inserted. So might be okay. This is our user model. Name, email, phone, password and role. 5 things are editable, and in the seed we also given the 5. So still any problem. Protected insert ID here, key, primary key is given. And okay, let's see what are other things we need to do. This is our seeder. Okay, we need namespace. Okay, we need 3 things. The seeder, yes, we will. Okay, we have to consider all these 3 things. Okay, so this is our code. Back to terminal and run this Spark command. Seed the test user into database, but there is no user model. Okay, and it is not created previously. It is created in next step. Okay, and here are some routes not needed currently. It's next part, but first we will fix this problem. Okay, true, soft delete, false, protected field true, validation, skip validation false, clean validation rules nothing. Okay, dollar table, passing the table name where we will store username. Okay, so okay, this is the first thing I have to do. Check the table name in the model. Yes, it is users. I will replace table user. Now I hit this command again, go to the PSU admin and check. Yes, now we have these 2 records. Okay, so next thing. Okay, we need, okay, this previous step also we have to consider. We have to create some routes. In the routes dot copy code, I have copied the code, I paste it in the text notepad, again copy it. It's in app config routes.php, app config, and here's the routes.php. Just below that's home index. There's the other routes. These are the routes which define the get and post or other methods. So let me explain you. See this, it match get and post and login, and it redirects you to the user controller, and login is the action. Okay, we have to create these controllers. user controller and editor controller in the next part. So this part already we have created user model. Next is we need to hit this command to create filter. What filter will do? Let me see. So filter allows us to give access to only logged in user. If user is not logged in, we redirect it to login. So we create the filter with auth name. So our filter is created in filters folder with auth.php, and okay, I need to open it. So I go to app filters. Auth.php is our filter. Okay. So in this filter there is a function called a before executing something, the filter is applied. If there is one action, if it is get called, there are two things. One is before that action, and second part is after that action. So let's say if you are going to access the dashboard, then the admin should be logged in. Okay, so I just copy this thing. Okay, and request interface request and arguments is equal to null already given. So I just need before we check this. If say there is no session variable is logged in set, then simply it means user is not logged in. Just redirect the user to the login page. Okay, just a two-line logic it is. Okay, without that we not consider that curly brackets, two lines logic. In the post we don't need to do anything, we just before executing that, and after executing after that filter is applied, then that the desired task will be happen. So also we have to make another filter. This is for no author user, means no auth means authentication is not there. So first I create this with the terminal. Okay, no auth. This filter is created in the same folder, just below this auth folder, and here the logic is that if the session get is login, if it is login, okay, this is for logged in user, and then we have the role. Okay, if you see the database you will see the role column, and we fetch that role from the session. We store that user data in the session and check whether it is admin, whether the role of that user is admin or editor. If it is admin, we have to redirect it to admin panel. If it is a editor, then we have to redirect user to the editor. So it's simple logic: checking, redirecting, checking, redirecting. Okay, I just copy this the code, entire code. First we have to check whether the user is login, then we check the roles. Okay, Control V, Control A, C, and I paste this, and it's in the before section of filter. I save it. Next go, and we don't do anything in the after section. So we define those filters. Next thing is calling them and using them in the our MVC framework. So open up the file app config filters.php and add these headers and create aliases, config and filters. Okay, here at the top I add these two things so we can use them, and our alias is there. Instead of replacing, I just add these two things. two lines there. Okay, we don't need to replace the entire thing. Only okay. So you can do single quote also, no problem. It's just the key, so no issue. So we added these two lines in the allies part. Then we have to add some custom rules in the application. Validate user. So he makes some validation. We just hit this command in our command prompt. Okay, we are at the root of our folder in the command prompt, and from there we are firing these commands. So it create validation rules files user rules.php. Okay, so in the validation folder, okay, just above the user view folder, we have the validation folder, and okay, we have that class user will. We have to define one function. This is the validate user function. Okay, I first copy it and explain it what is in it. So this is quite advanced framework as compared to its old version, and it's so we can say it back in the competition with this framework. Okay, okay, so first what it does, model, new user model, it asks and it finds where the email is, the data email is sent when this function is called. Okay, it finds that user by the email. Okay, so if we not find the user by the UN email, it returns false, otherwise it verify the password. So actually the user entered password and the password stored in database are different, so we can verify. We first, what we do, we get the email, we find the password stored in the database with the email, and then we have the entered password by user manually in the input type password field, and we use the function. This is PHP's default function to verify the password and hash the password that is stored in database with this function. If it is verified, it will return true. If it is not verified, it return the false. And we use this function to check the credentials, input credentials of the login for that particular user. Okay, so this thing is done in the user rules.php. And the next thing, we have to add this validation in the configuration, just like filter we have added. So rules set, we have to add this class. Okay, so I just copy this line and go to config validation. So this is quite advanced thing and more secure. So this will definitely make the CODEIGNITER back and fight with its competitors currently in the market. So rules set, we go there in the rule set, add this new thing with the semicolon, and I save it. Okay, so previously we have written these routes, then so we need to create these three controllers. Okay, so in the next step we will create these three controllers. Okay, so we have completed the validation, we have added that validation class into our configuration, So next is application controller settings. So search helpers in the base URL and load the URL into helpers. Means we have to load this either in you have to load this URL helper. So to do this, we previously do it in different way in CODEIGNITER 3. So do it here. What he have done, tell us controller is the function file. Okay, it's no problem. It have given there. Search helpers in the base controller and load URL into helpers. Protected helpers. Okay, we have to find where is this. Okay, in the base controller. I think they have say base controller. So I go here. App controller and base controller. This is my base controller. And here protected helpers. Okay. So I want to load URL. So what happens? If you see, this is the home controller. Okay. What is does? It extends the base controller. So if we define helpers here, all the controller extending this base controller will have this helpers. Means you don't need to invoke this helper in each new controller because it is extended in our base controller. It is implemented in our base controller and each new controller is extended by the base controller. What is mean by extended? You may see that concept in Java and other object-oriented programming. With the extension, we are able to use the functions and variables of the base controller in our child controller. Okay, and we don't need to redefine all the functions, all the protected variables or properties again and again. We can extend this controller with the base controller. Okay, so this is the case. And next thing, after loading this URL helper, we will able to use the site URL, base URL, or the functions we getting from the URL helper. We can use it. Okay, no problem. We will create application controller. Let's create user controller, admin controller, and editor controller. Okay, so here are few commands and we have to hit. Instead of going into Explorer, right click and creating a new file. That's the old method. Now the new method is just hit the command in the terminal and it create files for you. Okay, so we will create these 3 files, and also remember it has the suffix. What does this suffix do? It will apply the controller suffix to that the given name of the controller. I will show you once I hit all the commands. Okay, I have hit 2 commands and this is the last command. So okay, 3 controller files are created. So you can see that this is our example controller given by the default setup. Okay, so it don't have the controller name home controller.php. It's not this. Why it is not? Because it don't have the suffix, and even we hit the commands, you can see php spark make controller user and suffix. So it automatically takes the suffix and create the controller with the user controller.php, and it properly create that in the controllers folder. Okay, so this is the magic of the spark tool. Okay, same way we have artisan tool in the Laravel. Okay, so we use the spark in the CODEIGNITER. Okay, and we have created 3 controllers: user controller, edit controller, and admin controller. And by default all extends the base controller. Okay, so we can use the basic definitions, basic methods and properties of the base controller in all these controllers. You can see here the extends base controller. So next thing we have to do, they have given some methods and all things in each section, each controller, user controller, admin controller, and this one is the editor controller. Okay, and then they have created finally some view and it started. So I just quickly explain and copy one by one. So this is our user controller. I copy it. Okay, I replace entire thing in the user controller with this new, cause I copied entire file. Okay, so from PHP also. So what happened here for get method and extensions of PSR7's get method allow casing. Okay, let it be. We will see if any error occur, or if not occur, no problem. It is just warning given to us. It's a public function get method and extension of PSR7's get method for allowing casing. Okay, so it has given us the detail of that method. Okay, no problem. So first line is namespace app controller. It is, these two things are common. This first line number 3, line number 5, and line number 6 we use the user model to get the data from the model and send it to the view. Okay, so this is our class definition. It is started at line number 8, and line number 10 we have one function called the login. So we define the empty array at line number 12. Line number 14 we check whether means the request of this method by the post or get. Okay, if it is coming from the submission of form, or it is from the URL, that site name dot tl and then slash, that login it is there, or someone submitted that form. So if someone submitted that form, that condition start from line number 14 to the end of that line number 52. Okay, if that condition is not, then we have to just show the user the login form, and user will put that username and password, and when he submit that form, then line number 14 to 52 will be executed. Suppose the form is submitted, then there are rules. The first rule is email is required, email field is required, and it should be minimum length of 6, maximum length of 50, and it should be a valid email, means not ABCDXYZ. It should be like something at something dot something, means it's just like an email type, means the input in the input provider to this post method should be valid email. Okay, same. Then next is the password. Password should be, password is required, minimum length is 8, maximum length 255, and validate user. Okay, we have this validation function in the configuration validate file, and we have written that function just before, and it will check for this email and this password. So we don't need to do it again manually. So every time if we validate the user name and password, we just call this function. Okay, so these are the rules. Okay, and if some error occur, if that validation URL error occur, we will say email or password didn't match. Okay, either username is wrong or password is wrong. Okay, and other that required error automatically detect their own message. They has that email required, password required, they automatically suggest that things to the user. Okay, so these are the rules and the errors. Okay, these are defined by the key and value. What are the keys? These are the input of the post method, that's like email and post. Those are inputted by the user or in the form. Okay, sometimes hidden also there, we can also validate that hidden field also. Okay, so if this validation occur, so what is that validate? If this validate rules error, if it is not validated, it is the invert, means this is the invert of that. If validation fails, then add, it checks if this validation is okay or not. If this validation fails, then again we have to redirect user to the login page. Okay, if I submit the login form and my credentials are wrong, then where should I come? Again to the login form, and again I fill this username and password and again hit the submit button. Okay, and this time not only go to the login form, also get with the errors. What are the errors? We will show this error: email or password not match, or that email is too short, password is too short or long, and it is not a valid email address. Okay, this type of error we can show to that at the after submission of that form. Okay, and else part means our validation is successful, the username and password entered by user is true, and then we define model variable, object of the class user model. Then we find that user by the email id, and it is already validated because we are in the else case. Okay, in line number 33, so we don't need to validate again. Okay, so this set user session user, we pass this user and all the functions. Set user session, it might be a function defined. Yes, this is the function defined in the same file. And what we do, we define one data, and all we are passing all the parameters in from the database we have fetched, and set them into the session and return true. Okay, so we, in short, this line what it do, just take the information, that roles, models and everything's roles, username, email, phone number, whatever with the data, it store it in the session, that user id, and also it set the is login to true. Okay, so next thing, if the role of the user is admin, it will be redirect to admin, and if the role of the user is editor, it will be redirect to the editor. Okay, this is the part of the post, means after the form submission. And if form is not submitted, this is the first case where the login form is displayed to the user. So this is the function for the setting the session. We just seen this function, and last function defined in the user controller is logout. So in the logout, what we do, we destroy the session and redirect user to the login page. Okay, it's just simple, it has to be done. Means when you hit the logout, you should be redirect from the dashboard or whatever may be the access page to the login page. And if you go to that login page, again it will redirect you to login page. Okay, because you are not login. So this is all about the user controller. So next time is our admin controller and editor controller. So this happen with user controller. So next time we see this admin controller. I copy this. Okay, Control A, Control V. I save it. It's just simple. It has constructor. What is the constructor? Constructor is a function. It is occur every time when that class is called, when this admin controller is called, any method of this admin controller is called, this is called first. So what will it do? It will check whether you are a admin or not. If you are not admin, your role is not admin, for logged in user, it will echo that access is denied, and exit means it is protected the dashboard from the means non-admin user. Okay, we can say that. And it has one method, index method. Means what is the index method? This is the first method get executed if you not send the method parameter in the URL. Then this index method is executed when this controller is called. So it will return the view admin dashboard. So we will create in the next step an admin folder inside the view, and we create the dashboard.php file as a view file, normal code, and it will be displayed in the when this admin controller is called with the index method. When only admin controller is called and no other method is called, then it calls the index method. Okay, so for the admin controller it's very easy. So next thing we have to do is the editor controller. Okay, I just copy it, also the same as the admin controller. Just here is the concept. Here we have to check whether the role is editor. Then we have to say yes, you don't have this access. If your role is editor, then the index method will be called and redirect you to and display you the view that will be in the editor folder and the dashboard. So this all controller, this is just the primary example. Okay, so how much time is 47 seconds. Okay, next thing, 47 minutes, and we have to create some views for login, register and dashboard. Okay, so this is the login. Okay, I just copy it, and we have to create it in the view folder, login.php. In the view folder we have that default view. We will add one more, and I call it as login.php, and I paste this. This is, it has some layout. Okay, app layout there, and some HTML code. And if there are validation errors when form is submitted and some error occur, just like password not matched, email is invalid or something, it will be displayed at the top. Okay, and other things are here. Okay, so this is the login file. Also we will create one folder, the admin folder, and put this dashboard file in the admin directory. Okay, so in the view I will create the folder admin, and I create the file dashboard.php. I paste that code, and it just say admin dashboard and give you one logout button. Okay, it's just primarily we can include themes and other things later. Okay, first thing first we have done. Then same thing we have to do with the editor. We have to create one folder editor. Okay, I go to the root of this view directory. Okay, and I create a folder editor. Okay, spelling matters. .php. So dashboard.php, control V it and save it. Okay. Okay, I think it's dashboard only. Yes, the same. And one thing is remaining, layouts app.php. Layouts app.php. Yes, this file is remaining. This is our parent template. By mistake it was remaining by us, so I have copied this and I create layouts folder in the views and paste it. So I go to the view, okay, root of this directory, I create layouts folder. What is in the layouts? That okay, let me post the file. So part above is header and part below this body is the footer. So we, instead of writing the header and footer again and again, we apply this layout, and this is the render section body. Okay, so if I go to admin and look at the dashboard, okay, so here you can see extend the layout app. Okay, it's a extended layout app, and inside the app we define that the section body function. So we start this section body here and ended this section here. So this entire thing is given to this extended layout app, and this will be equal at line number 13, means between the header and footer. Okay, so you can put your scripts and other things here. For the better purpose, good practice is put the JS files at the bottom. Okay, Control X and here. So I save it. Okay, next thing, I think we have the login, and we don't have the register page in this section. Okay, let's check if everything is okay. So we don't need to fire this Spark and run its own server. We have the XAMPP. Okay, I go to the localhost and multi-auth. I think this, I have called this for correct name. It's yes, multi-auth, but in the CODEIGNITER 4 you should go to the public folder. Okay, server not found and multi-aud. Okay, problem is that spelling mistake, multi-auth. Okay, yes, now your URL is localhost, multi-auth and public. What is multi-auth? It is the directory created in your htdocs. Okay, and this is the public directory from where it is executed. We in the next part see how to remove this public from the URL. Okay, so first you have to check everything correctly. So I put the login. Yes, we have the login form, and we seeded some data from the seeder and database seeds and the user seed. So first we check for the admin. Okay, I just copy this, and password is 128, and we must redirect to the 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 and submit. Okay, something went wrong, cause here localhost 8080 given. Something went wrong with this, with the settings in the environment file. Okay, app base URL, here you have to change. Our base URL is http localhost and then multi auth. Okay, whether we have to put the public. Okay, try. If it is not needed, we will remove this. So again I go to back. Okay, I hit the F5. Okay, I inspect and check whether the URL is right for the form. Okay, here this is the problem, not with the base URL but in the form. We have to go in our login page, in the view, in our login page here, where is the form? Yes, we have defined the base URL login, so we have to define the base URL, not env. app.base URL is defined by us but it is not taking in effect, so I just go here again, hit the Ctrl plus F5. Okay, and again check this form, inspect it, still it's a ATTN login. I think somewhere in the post, we have to check whether it is defined or not. I save this file. What is happening? The problem with the base URL. The problem is that we have not uncommented that line number 23. That hash was there, so that also this here the development. So that's why we haven't seen any error that previously. Okay, I have removed that hash from line number 17 and 23 and updated this. This might be only multi-auth only, or the plugin, let's see, public. So this is our login page, it is right, so I go here and this is admin and this is form. Now you can see the correct URL, public login, and on the same page we have to submit the form. Okay, so you don't need to correct the URLs in the view files. Okay, so just we have corrected, means you don't need to go here and change this, because we use the URL helper and we define that base URL in the our environment file. So here everything is in environment file. In CODEIGNITER 3 we have that app.php and autoload previously. Okay, here also in the config, if you go inside the config, app.php, public base URL here also given, also change it localhost, and when you are trying to deploy this application on server, then that domain name you should xyz.com and something you have to put that. Okay, multi-auth and then the public folder. Okay, and in few minutes we are going to see how to remove this public from the URL. Okay, so first I have to refresh it, and that's something not copied yet. Okay, I have again go to Cedar. Yes, user Cedar. This is the email and this is the password. Okay, password is easy, 128 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. I submit it. Okay, we facing error. Was the error? App validation user model not found. I thought that that error should come here, because if you go to that user rules.php, you use the user model, but you have not given the that path. So it's very easy. So just like I have to copy this. Where is the user model located? In the app models and user model. I just have to copy this. I have copied, and I have to go to user rules. Okay, user rules are at the validations and user rules. It already that I have some plugins. They already told here some error cause this object or function not finding. It's the object, we can say that, because we have created this new object. So this error gone. So again I refresh and it will say yes, your login, the username is given and login button is given, and what it said, it's the admin dashboard. Okay, so later we can apply the themes, and you know that we have done with the core PHP also, that after applying the good theme we can change the entire design, that the front that what we say, HTML, CSS and JS. Okay, we already included the bootstrap. We can define the theme either from scratch, or we can use the any open source theme. Okay, so this is admin dashboard. Let me show you another one, is the editor dashboard. So to do this we need another user. Okay, this is the editor user. So finally 1 2 8 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, and I submit it. Yes, here you can see the name of, and from where this name is came, from the email. It faced this record, that line, and if you go to that dashboard pages, here from the session you get the name. Okay, and how you store that in the session? If you go to that user controller, when that user is login, and means login means the post method is done, and if the validation is done, we set user session, means we set the user data in the session. This is the record, the first one row. This is the unique record is stored in this variable from the database, and that the variable is passed to set user session function. And what does this set user session function does? All that user data, that ID, name, phone, email, and role to give on it to that session and set it the true. So and next time, after the login is done successful, it checks the role. If it is admin, it redirects it to the admin, and if it is the editor, it redirects to the editor base URL. And where are these defined, that base URL, admin and editor? These are defined in the routes, config and routes. You can see admin, when you have admin, this group for the admin and this group for the route. So instead of writing admin slash something, admin slash this, so instead of repeating the word admin, admin index, admin edit post, and admin delete post, something like these actions, you just can create the group. This is in the router. Okay, so everything coming with the admin in the your browser URL, and if there nothing after the admin name, you can see that here, just like a editor. Okay, yeah, I'm going to check this with the what that Cedar. Okay, we find this from the post. We control F, admin role. Okay, this is the URL for the admin. Okay, and the password 1234567 8. Hit the enter, and you can see this, the public and admin. Until public, this is the base URL. Okay, then after admin you don't have anything in the URL. Okay, this is the URL. So this will match this section, means nothing. Okay, after forward slash nothing. So it will call admin controller and index method. Okay, so we go to that admin controller, and you have this index method. What it say? Go to the view, render this view. Which view? Admin dashboard. So we have to go to view folder, and then we have to go to admin folder, and then we have to find this file dashboard. And then I have already explained you. Then we have the layout, and this is the body section from line number 3 to 19, and we extended this section with the layouts app. So if you go to the app.php, which is inside the view layouts app, and here you can find this, the default template, we can say that, and here header and footer, and at line number 11 you have this rendering, that thing in this app template. The same thing is happening with the login page also, where you extend this template, and line number 3 to line number 35, whatever may be the thing, it will be echoed using this template, layout template. Okay, so this way we have the same header and footer in many websites. You have seen that. Okay, so this is done. So finally we successfully implemented this role based login, means admin can see only admin post. And let's say I want to go to again to the admin. Okay, so I here in admin. Okay, it will redirect me to the login page because I am not logged in as an admin. Okay, the same thing will be happen with the editor in this last year, and it also redirect me to the login. So hope you understand this. So again, watch this video many times and try to understand how it is different from the CodeIgniter 3.